More information just came out today that surfaced the whole Battlefield community. I'm Battlefield Central, and today we're going to be looking at some gameplay leaks and also the reveal trailer leak. Supposedly we're getting a small teaser tomorrow. Let's try to reach 700 likes today. That would mean a lot to me. I really appreciate the support again. But yeah, I'm honestly sure you will really like this leak. This is a huge piece of info that we have just received. So Battlefield 2021 unverified leak. Let me start by saying this: take everything I say with a pinch of salt. My source knows an insider at DICE LA who is involved with playtesting. My source has not seen or played the game. Now I know this sounds like my friend's uncle cousin works at Nintendo, because we do have a lot of leaks like that, so take this as you will. I personally have no idea what I'm about to tell you guys. This is true and I have no way of verifying. Also, my source has never leaked anything to me before either, but I trust them and don't believe that they have any reason to lie. We'll know the truth once the game is finally revealed, and that is probably a week or two away. Now we also will get some small teasers beforehand, I'm guessing, and Battlefield 2021 is indeed set in 2030s, but that alone doesn't describe the setting well enough. The world is more or less destroyed by weather, altering technology, and a second Cold War between US and Russia. And I could really get Battlefield 4 vibes out of this. You do play as a soldier from fallen nations like Tom Henderson claimed. These fallen nations are primary setting of the maps in the game. The setting of the maps will either have war-torn post-apocalyptic or destroyed by natural disasters reclaimed by nature. Oh my. So are we gonna be seeing more of like maps that are already being destroyed, not like full cities? That would be pretty much awesome, especially if we can, take advantage and go into one of these houses and snipe from there, our flank or ambush. That would be so exciting. But the setting of the maps will either have, something very specific, war-torn, post-apocalyptic, or destroyed by natural disasters. Hopefully we see something pre-war as well. Look to them, not all fallen nations have a map in the game. Each fallen country is allied to either US or Russia, and Tom Henderson denied this. You can play either for US, you can play either for Russia, and you can choose which specific nation you want to play for. This is something that was very confusing for a lot of people, but for example, Japan, South Korea, and Israel are allied with US. Now, this is not true. China and Iran are also allied with Russia. My source insisted on this and says Tom Henderson is wrong about this. The game will launch with 13 maps. Now, that is a lot of maps if this is true. However, this is really, I don't know how he got these sources. Maybe 13 maps are actually in development, and maybe only 7 of the maps are going to be launching, and then we're going to be getting 5 maps in the following months or years, with an additional map set to release a month later. All of these maps are set in Eurasia. Okay, that's an interesting location. They're set in Central East Europe, Middle East, and East Asia. Middle East and Europe are more heavily featured. None of the launch maps are set in North or South America, Africa, and Russia. US and Russia don't fight directly against each other on any of these maps. Players can pick a multitude of different factions from each side of the map, and not all factions will be available for each map though. All the maps are primarily designed around 128 player Conquest. Now DICE has been hinting towards, that 128 player Conquest might, be featured there, but the main focus will be still 64 players, 32 versus 32. Definitely would make sense, especially 128 players is something that draws people in, because every specific Battlefield game has something new, right? And this time it's gonna be 128 players and advanced evolution. Now what we can know from gameplay leaks: no vehicle spawn screen. You gotta go onto the vehicle to get it. You will automatically be switched to a vehicle specific class once you enter them. This does not apply to transport vehicles. Okay, this is something fresh to my information, because we did kind of get a lot of leaks about vehicle spawn, and there's so much to go on here that I really don't know if this is good or bad. Overall, I feel like DICE did heavy research on what spawn screen they actually do want to do, so I'm not really concerned about that. But this does not apply to transport vehicles, so if you didn't know, there's gonna be ospreys that then you can drop on the map, which is pretty exciting. And Conquest is a little bit different now. You can still capture and defend points, drain tickets, and spawn on your capture points, but there are a multitude of side objectives that pop up during the course of the match. These objectives pop up when a certain ticket count is reached for each map, but they appear in a random order during each match. Multiple objectives appear at the same time. My source did not specify what all of these objectives would be, but they were told about some of them. Completing these objectives gives you points and advantages. So for example, maybe you get an extra vehicle, vehicle, maybe you get a freaking rocket. And if we did get some extras like we did in commander mode, this is what a lot of players will be very excited for. We want to be rewarded for playing objectives. I don't want, to punish my teammates for wanting to snipe and just wanting to have fun, but as well, those who are actually playing to win should be heavily rewarded. And this definitely does make the idea that this is very, very good. Now, there's a lot more about this, and I'm really excited. Completing this objectives gives you points, and not only that, advantages is pretty much that gives you an extra helping hand. So if the other team is winning, how will you follow up with this? Like, for example, there is a hacking objective when you hack a device and it reveals any player location on a big chunk of the map around the device. Oh my, oh my. I think the maps got just a little bit better after I read this. The enemy can disable and even destroy this objective. There is another objective where you can capture intel from a designated location in an enemy area and bring it back designed area near your flags. The intel will reveal information about how many enemy players are on each of surrounding flags and which flags are marked for attack defend. Now this is gonna, imagine if you just finish an objective, you just give more information, to a heli or to even better a jet or a tank where the enemy team is hiding and they just drop a bomb on them. Like that would be so freaking awesome. Like holy moly, this is good news. It will also give you a timer for when each vehicle will spawn off these flags. Now this is pretty exciting because I usually, when I was waiting, I wasn't sure in Battlefield 1 when the vehicle will actually be spawning. This is all time. There's another objective where you get a flag, a literal flag. Okay, I hope the flag does wave and you can plant it in one of the multiple designated spots. This becomes a new mini conquest point for you where you can spawn on and it affects the ticket burn rate. The enemy has to capture it to make it disappear. There is another objective where you plant an explosive on an enemy conquest flag and it will temporarily make it disappear. That means they can't spawn on it and it doesn't help when the ticket bleeds. The bomb site usually appears on enemy give me flags. The bomb is timed and so enemies can defuse it. So it will actually be like mini games during this map. So in Battlefield 4 we really had, just few big objectives that you had to capture. There was a lot of firefights over there, but in some aspects of the map it was actually completely empty except for, some snipers hiding. And this could potentially, give mini game modes to 128 players to have lots of fun. Too many players in a single location, it will actually be dispersed. So if you go, to the mountains, there will be players there. And if you go to the forest, there will be players there. And if you go to the sea, there will be players there. And this makes it like a real life map where you, play the game. This objective allows it to take over a capture point with many more players. There are more side objectives that are supposed to make each round very dynamic. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. A very dynamic map is something I'm very excited for. But, just reading this makes me super hyped. Like Assault Engineer, Support, and Recon will all alternate its classes, but each class will have multiple subclasses. Oh, wow. This will have different gadgets, perks, or guns. Not all classes have the same number of subclasses. Subclasses, that is something new. Assault has 2 subclasses when the Support has 4. I think we saw something like that in Battlefield 5, right? But a bit different. Support has 4 subclasses. The subclasses each play a different roles on the battlefield. They have tested 4 players, 5 players, and 6 player squads. I would love 6 player squads, don't get me wrong, but if it doesn't work, I could also be playing with 5 player squads. Like overall, if you have 6 friends, this is gonna be a massive chaos. I can even get adjusted to 4 players. They have tested limiting squad spawning on squad leader only, and this is what happens, when you actually destroy a team. If one of the players survive, they just respawn, right? It doesn't feel realistic. It's good, but it doesn't feel realistic. So if it only spawns on squad leader, the squad leader has to stay alive while, the other teammates have to protect him so they can respawn on him. I think we see something like that in actually a game called Squad. So just to make some sense, spawn screen will show the number of players on your team in each class and subclass. This is really good information when you're trying to figure out what is going wrong or what is going right. They have testing putting an upper and lower limit on the number of players in each class. I'm not really the idea for, limiting the amount of classes. Just simply put, it's a good idea to test, but I don't agree with it. Hopefully we see how this works, but attrition system and squad revives from Battlefield 5 are gone. Yes, this will make a lot of people very happy. Only medics can revive. There is a definite charge up time for a revive like in Battlefield 4, but you can't revive a player before this and players will always be revived in 100% health. This is good. This is really good. Squad spawn screen for Battlefield 4 makes a return. Okay, I like this. Definitely some features from Battlefield 4 that need to make a return that I really much like. Game will feature weapons all the way back from Cold War era to prototype weapons that are in development right now. What does this mean? Does this mean like an AK-47? Does this mean we're getting like unrealistic weapons? I'm not sure what that exactly meant. Maybe we're getting, you know, some meme kind of weapons, but prototype weapons are gonna be in the game for sure. Hopefully we get, you know, some of the Battlefield Hardline, Battlefield 4 weapons that we were all excited for. Maybe even, you know, something like from Battlefield 3, and the game will feature powerful weapons and gadgets as battle pickups on the maps. They will always be fixed locations on the map. So powerful weapons is something that we saw kind of like hits in Battlefield 1. Gadgets, probably like anti-air stuff, you know, as battle pickups. You know, this league didn't actually mention any robots, which I was super excited for, but this is a lot of new info. The Battle Royale is being developed by DICE LA, which I don't think it's DICE LA, but who knows at this point, maybe it's Criterion, and it's targeted for launch sometime in March 2022. This definitely correlates with what I have been talking about in my previous video, that we're not getting a Battle Royale on launch, but sometime in 2022 when the mobile is launching as well. It's free to play and tied to the main game like Warzone, and Warzone did the same thing. You know, they first released Modern Warfare and then Warzone, and it blew up, and you know, if they follow the same strategy, probably the same thing will happen. We will be getting huge influx of players. Again, take it all with a very small pinch of salt. Lynch me online if you turn out this turns to be bad. Expect them to start teasing the game on their Twitter account and YouTube sometime early next week. Okay, this is really good news because I have a lot to cover. Most likely this coming Tuesday. They will also announce the trailer reveal date with the teaser, and the reveal trailer should drop sometime in the week between May 4th and May 7th. So this is what I have also been talking about, May 5th or May 7th. It seems, you know, kind of likely because now it's a day earlier even. I really like this idea. And the reveal date with the teaser. I want to break down the teaser, and I'm super excited for see what it will include. So at first we do actually look what the insiders have to say, and Tom Henderson did reply to this. This is the last time I'm gonna cover a Red League that's a reveal. Is probably 1 to 2 weeks away now, and the reveal is not that far, which I'm very excited for, but I can't quote word for word. But in the game you have no pre-established alliances. You're free to fight for either side of conflict. Obviously I don't know everything, but what I've been personally told, you could have a Chinese soldier on the USA team and a Chinese soldier on the Russian team, as you're free to choose what superpower you fight for. So there will be USA and Russia, but you can choose which specific nations you actually fight for. It's your character and it's your choice, and this gives a lot of versatility to the player himself. And I also think there's a few things wrong in the league itself, including DICE LA working on Battle Royale, really, and giving X amount of maps, so for example 12 maps on launch, even at this state, is pretty premature in my honest opinion. But we'll see. I'm just reporting on what I'm personally been told and may not have seen. And I'll cover this in my future videos, but you're actually a specialist soldier for a fallen nation with unique gadgets and perks, which gives you unique abilities in the game. So this sounds really stupid, but am I just an ordinary player, which got a lot of people concerned, or am I like a top tier general or something? Am I like a normal soldier? Am I like someone important? Is what matters to a lot of people. And Tom Henderson Albright, I'm theorizing a bit here, but I believe the idea is to get you more attached with your soldier character. You want him to be a Chinese soldier? Sure. You want to buy this really cool cosmetic helmet for him? Sure. It doesn't really matter what side you play on, it's your soldier. I'm assuming you have 2 presets, one for Russia and one for Russia using their armor flags colors. Really exciting, to be honest. This is like really advanced features gonna be in the next Battlefield game. Have you seen the new leaks? What are your thoughts on them? A soldier with a US flag on his uniform dies in the trailer, so this is a bit more of the trailer info, so I stopped reading after the first paragraph. So we should have some good news tomorrow if this leak is true. That means we're getting a teaser tomorrow, and if the teaser comes tomorrow or the day after, this could be either a big coincidence or a huge indication that this leak is actually true, and the hype is brewing up in the pot. There is a huge kettle going on over here that's just about to explode, if you get me. So we're having more leaks, more info tomorrow, and definitely do subscribe for more Battlefield 6 content, because I'm your host, Battlefield Central. Leave a like if you want to help support the channel. Thank you so much for making it to this point, and I wish you a fantastic day. See you tomorrow.